Hi everyone, welcome back to the London Premier League show. Today our special guest is Harry. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you guys?
Right. So, 2 weeks ago, just before the last international break, we talked about the best Premier League players so far this season, and I went with the boring answer, the easy way out, but it's what I believe. Mo Salah, is he the best player in the world? I'll start off with Harry, the Liverpool fan.
Easy money. Easy money. Right now, he's the best. He's untouchable right now. I think it's clear, especially when you see the stats he's got this season. And what's it, 15 goals, 12 games. It's just unreal. Scored in his last 10. It's just like no one comes close. Like it's not even the fact that he's just scoring like tap-ins or whatever. He just in the right positions. He's doing everything right now. Like, see the assist against Watford for Mane. Everything he's doing right now is golden. Honestly, best player by far.
James?
Yeah, I don't think there's many better than him at the moment. But the thing that gets me with Mo Salah is that even if you look back to previous seasons, he's not had a bad season for a long time now. So he's always been up there and thereabouts. What's happened now is that Liverpool are a little bit back on form, and he's leading that. He's the one that's leading Liverpool at the moment. And as Harry says, it's not like he's getting the odd tap in. He's actually creating goals for himself. He's getting himself into positions, willing to take on people. Scored a couple of really good goals recently. So I think he's playing really well, really well. But I just think whether he can consistently do it. But I think Liverpool need him really badly at the moment, and I think he's what's making them gel at the moment. So, but I just give him credit anyway. I've always thought he's a good player. I'm surprised that Chelsea didn't get much out of him when he was at Chelsea, but that's more or less a little dig at Sion, really. They often do that, you see. They let good players go, like Kurt Zuma, Colton Cole. Anyway, moving on. That's my opinion. Mo Salah, yeah, he is the best player at the moment.
I'll go next. I echo what James says about obviously his goal scoring, creating goals for himself, but the biggest difference for me is him creating chances for others. I always compare this season. I know a lot of people compare this season to his first season at Liverpool, 17-18, and obviously his goal scoring record back then as well was almost on par as it is now. But I feel like in 2017-18 he's probably a little bit more greedy. But now that pass to Mane for the goal against Watford, I don't think he would have done that in 17-18. So I think his all-round game now, he's more complete of a player now, bringing others into play, hold up play, even with his back to goal now. I just think he's unbelievable. I do think he's the best player in the world at the moment. Resentful?
Yeah, I agree with what everyone said here. I do think he's the best, if not one of the best players. I do believe he doesn't get the praise he deserves because he's from a certain country and follows a certain background. But I believe that if he was English, the media will be all over him. I mean, we saw the hype they gave Kane when he was hitting these kind of goals. Why isn't the same treatment given to Salah? So as a neutral, you have to give it to him. He's on form. He's already scored half the goals he scored last season. So he's definitely on par and on his way there. So I can't deny it. He's been on form this season.
Just before we move on as well, I saw something on Instagram, I think 2-3 hours ago, saying that in Egypt now they're gonna talk about Salah's story. That's gonna be on the curriculum in schools now. I saw that about 2-3 hours ago. But now, latest Premier League action. Sticking with Rosampton, should Ole have been sacked after the Liverpool defeat?
Personally, yes, but it's just my fear is I don't want disruption within the season. I'd rather just let him have the season. And then once the board is confident, they know who they're going to bring in next, give him the summer, have him have the transfers, and then let him have the next season. I don't want it to be another case of Mourinho, during the season, disruption, a lot of pressure being on Ole during the 18-19 season. And then we did well, and then he fumbled, and then we lost top four. I don't want that. I'd rather just let Ole have the season, do what he can so far, and just, if he doesn't meet expectations, sack him, bring in a new manager, whether that's Conte, Zidane, whoever it is, give him the budget, give him the players, and give him the fresh shot he deserves.
Okay, and now obviously you've got Spurs and City coming up. Like if those games go wrong, is the season in danger of collapsing?
I think the season's already in danger. I fully believe the Premier League is written off in terms of title contenders. We're no longer title contenders. We're out of the Carabao Cup, so that's one trophy down. FA Cup, we have to wait until January for fixtures. Champions League is looking very shaky. It's surprising how we're on top with how we've been playing. It's a miracle. But honestly, our best hope of winning the trophy is our FA Cup or Champions League.
Okay, and obviously Harry, from a Liverpool perspective, that was a great game for you. You talk about that.
Yeah, no, the 5-0 was something I was never expecting. I was a bit nervous, true to say, going into the game, just because like when there's Liverpool United big rivalries, you can't form normally doesn't, it goes at the window, as they say, cliche, I know, but still, it's like I would have been, obviously I wanted to win, but it's just like you never know with Liverpool United, especially at Old Trafford. Like look at last season, I think we beat them last season in the league at Old Trafford, but FA Cup they beat us, and the season before that there's been a couple 0-0 draws here and there. So it's just a big rubs like that. You can never tell. I was really nervous, but when the first goal went in, when he scored that one, and then Jota, soon after I was like, cool, this is 2-0 cruising. Sounds like, and then we're just gonna breeze and just that's it. I thought 2-0, 3-0 maybe max, and then I think the fact that it's 4-0 at half time, it really it's kind of like it's a shock factor kind of thing, No one expects Liverpool to be beating United 4-0 at half time when you compare both squads. I know people say Ole, he's not as good as Klopp, whatever, but the squads, there's talent in both. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, and then to end up 5-0 in 50 minutes is nuts. And I was Saturday after the result, I was just so happy. I was just smiling. I couldn't stop. But in terms of Ole's position in the job, I just think I don't know, it's tough. Like you look at it, where he's got a good squad now. Like his squad is almost. Like you feel like it's almost there. Like the feeling that United is like so close to being perfect, and people trying to nitpick points. Who's causing the problems? Whatnot, and this ain't Ollie. But yeah, I mean, you look with like 10 games into the season, and people really calling for his head. I mean, it's unfortunate because we've got so long left, and the next 6 games, City, Tottenham, Chelsea, and Atlanta twice, and Watford as well. I mean, these are tough games. I think if United get, sometimes calling for his head already, but I mean, in the first game, if they lose, like, it's gone. But I mean, these are big games for any club, so a drought maybe could be expected, but I don't think it's really a negative if they go there and don't get that many points, because these are big teams. Like if it was like, Brighton's, Norwich's, and all them kind of mid-table teams in the next 6 games and they didn't lose and they didn't win one, then yeah, you could say, yeah, he should be gone and get someone else. But I think say if they lose to Spurs and City, I think obviously he'd be under loads of pressure. Then they got Watford after that, and if they don't win against Watford, I'd say yeah, he should be gone. But that's just my opinion. That's just my view on it.
Okay, and James, now obviously beating Spurs in the league and knocking Man City out of the cup they own. It's been a great week for you. So talk about your week.
Well, what can I say? I think West Ham's one of the informed teams at the moment. I think it's interesting listening to Harry and West Ham about United and Liverpool. I think West Ham are sort of like the form team. They've had some good results. We beat Man United previous in the cup. And then obviously on Wednesday, we first team to beat Man City, okay, penalty shootout. But I think Moyes got his tactics right on Wednesday night. We made 8 changes from our normal starting 11 in the Premier League. We made 8 changes. City played some good players. They had a youngster called, I think it's Cole Palmer. He was a really good player for them, really good player. He needs more game time to get used to playing with them, but he did some good stuff for them. But we just stuck to the game plan. 65 minutes, brought 3 players on that normally play in the Premier League for us, Bowen, Benrahma and Fornells, and they couldn't break us down. We weren't hanging on or anything, they just couldn't get through us. Took it to penalties, we scored all 5 of ours, Foden missed their first one, gave us that lift. I think we did well, but in the Premier League, 2 clean sheets, played at Goodison Park a couple of weeks ago, 1-1-0, played at home last weekend against Tottenham, 1-1-0. I think David Moyes is spot on, and as I keep hearing on the radio the last couple of days, and we go back to Ollie at United, And if you remember in the last one we did, I said Ollie's problem is he won't get the starting 11 ever right because there's so many good players and he won't get that mix right. That's what's costed him. And I think Harry's right. He's got Tottenham at the weekend and City. If he picks up a point or a draw, he'll be all right. But even if he loses both, he'll still be all right. He'll be the Man United manager till the end of the season. But what I'm getting back to West Ham and how good we are, how many Man United fans are still disappointed that they really didn't give David Moyes more of a time when he first took over from Ferguson? Because Moyes is a good manager. Do what he's done. Yeah, he had a couple of dodgy spells at Sunderland and I think abroad in Spain.
Yeah, Spain.
But he's come back and he's done what he's done. I think there'd be a lot of Man United fans wishing that they gave David Moyes a bit more time when he was appointed after Ferguson. But in terms of West Ham, yeah, we're happy. Villa away on Sunday. Be nice to pick up another win away from home. And we've got some good players playing well at the moment. And he signed some good players. Zoom was outstanding, but even Dawson and Diop at the back were good when they play in the Europa League. We didn't even mention that Europa League. We're top of our group, 3 wins out of 3. Very not conceding goals. We're winning.
I was going to say that as well. Yeah,
we're it's all good at the moment, but it only takes a couple of results and things can change. But at the moment, there's a lot of confidence. And as I said, on another show, the stadium itself now, the London Stadium is becoming a bit of a football stadium now. And with the results that are going this season, it could become West Ham's home. And we knew it would take 4 or 5 seasons for that. But yeah, we're happy. We're happy. Win on Sunday against Villa. That'll take us into a really good week of football with another European game coming up, but then a big Premier League clash with one of our dodgy teams that we keep losing to, Liverpool, in a week and a half, a week on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. But we're happy. We're happy.
Okay, so moving on to us now. Obviously, last week played by far the worst team in the division. They're not a Premier League team, Norwich. They're going down. They are, man. What do you say about Norwich? I was going into the game. I was like, oh, this is a chance to get a goal difference up. I was saying maybe 4-5-0, maybe. Even we don't even score. We don't bury teams like that. So I was like, maybe 3 or 4-0. I'll be happy. But when I saw 3-0 at halftime, I was like, yeah, we need another 3-4 goals in the second half. I knew it would be 7 at halftime. I think Reece James scored just before halftime, about 42, 43 minutes. That would have 2-0 at halftime. I would have said, okay, maybe 4-0. But I think after the third goal, Norwich's hedge dropped. They looked out of it. I think their attack weren't even pressing the game. They weren't even pressing our defenders anymore. So it was basically, and that was an easy game. And obviously, Carabao Cup, we've been a bit lucky. Scraped through 2 games on penalties, Aston Villa and Southampton. So saw Man City go out on penalties. So we were lucky there. Kepa saved us in those. And in the Champions League, we've got Malmo coming up. We've beaten them at home already 4-0. So we've got the away leg. So it's another chance to get 3 points on the board because right now we're kind of competing with Juventus for top spot. We need to try and beat them at Stamford Bridge because they beat us in Turin. And yeah, in the Premier League, we've got a bit of a favourable run coming up. We seem to have passed most of our difficult first half of the season fixtures. So we've got Newcastle coming up. We've got Burnley. So we just need to keep on winning because we've seen what Liverpool and Man City can do in the last 3 or 4 years in terms of points tally and consistency over the season. So we need to keep that up. But now previewing this weekend's fixtures, we'll start off with Leicester versus Arsenal, early kickoff tomorrow. I'll start off with Razanthan. Your predictions for that?
I'm favouring Arsenal for this one. I think, they're on form, morale's high. I think they're looking good coming into this game and hopefully they actually might produce a result away, I think. So I'm going to go for an Arsenal 2-1 win.
Harry?
I'm gonna go the opposite. I reckon it's gonna be 2-1 Leicester. I just think, Arsenal are form and so are Leicester, but Leicester being at home, especially this week as well, they got the added back to the big game. This week was the anniversary of the death of the owner, and I just think, they are flying higher, the Foxes. So I just think it'll be 2-1 Leicester. I reckon Maddison, Tielemans, or Vardy's going to get any of the goals, to be honest with you.
James?
Well, you look at this game, Arsenal are inconsistent, and even this season, Leicester have been inconsistent. There's no team really that's shining, And from a West Ham point of view, I prefer a draw. So I'll go for a 2-2 draw. They're both level on points with 14 points in the table. So a draw will do us a favour. But I do think it could pan out to be a draw. I think it'd be a good open game. I think there's some good players on both teams, but I just think they're both sort of not consistent enough to hold a lead. You know, Leicester had a good result against Man United a couple of weeks ago, but there was a lot of goals in that. I think Arsenal are getting better. They seem to be stronger. Be interesting to see if White plays because he went off ill, I think, during the week. See if he's fit enough to start in the Premier League. But I think I'll go for 2-2.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, both teams being inconsistent. I thought Leicester beating United now. I'm hoping that can be a turning point in their season. Well, not hoping. I just think it might be a turning point in their season because I know the last 2 years they've come fifth, back-to-back seasons. But this season they started off a bit dodgy, scraping. I know they scraped a win against Norwich away. They've dropped points. They drew with Burnley and they've had like draws with like usually like mid-table teams, stuff like that. But the United win, they were very good in the United game. So maybe this might be a turning point in their season, but I'm not sure yet. And Arsenal right now, they're unbeaten in I think 5 Premier League games, I think. So I think 2-2 as well. Vardy's in my fantasy team, so I need him to score some goals in that game. Liverpool, Brighton, Harry.
I mean, yeah, I want Liverpool to win. There's no secret, but at home, I think it's going to be 3-0 Liverpool. Even though Brighton are a good side, they have started really, really brightly this season, and they're up there. They're what, 5th, 6th, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's clearly a new side to what they were last season, and they are a very good team at the start of the season. But I just do think that Liverpool will win 3-0. Hopefully, anyway. Touch wood.
Yeah, I'll go next on this one. I think we saw last week Brighton outclassed by Man City at home. They're just not like on that level. They're not on that level. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go Liverpool 3-0 as well. Resentful?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I could easily see it being 4-1, 5-1 Liverpool.
James?
Well, I'm going to call it now. And I'll just get this in now. Yeah, Liverpool are going to win. That's the. But what I'm going to call out now is that the wheels are going to come off of Brighton now. You watch them just slowly but
I
surely
agree with that.
go down the table. Yeah, their last 4 games they've lost 1 and drawn 3. They've had a good start to the season, but you've got to look at who they've played. I think Liverpool will be too good for them. I know there was occasions. It's at Anfield, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's occasions sometimes where Liverpool don't cope that well with those lesser teams, and the odd result happens. But I think Liverpool are on such good form that I think the wheels will come off Brighton over the next few games, and I think Liverpool will win convincingly tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yeah. Is it Saturday? Yeah.
Saturday, yeah. 3 o'clock.
So, prediction maybe 3-4-0, something like that.
Okay. My club now, we're playing tomorrow as well. Newcastle, Chelsea at St. James's. I still think this game's about Newcastle will be a good side in 2 years. As of now, Newcastle. If these owners if they didn't get new owners, I said they might have been going down this season, but I think January might save them. This game's 2 years away from being a good game, so I'm sorry, we've got to beat Newcastle. They're just not good. I told James earlier, I said, Callum Wilson, St. Maxim, and Joe Willock. They might be the only 3, maybe 1 or 2 others that will survive this whole rebuild, possibly be there in 2-3 years' time. So because it's at St. James's, obviously 52,000 there, it might be tough, but I'm gonna go 2-0. We don't score that many away from home, so I'm gonna go for 2-0. Resentful?
I think Chelsea, they'll put up a fight. I think I'd say 3-1 Chelsea.
Harry?
I don't know. I mean, you see the new ownership come in. Newcastle, for the first time, they sold at the stadium last week. For the first time in years. So their crowd's going to be up for it, believe me. And I don't know, yeah, you say Chelsea don't score that many away from home. But you also got to think, I mean, Newcastle, you're saying like 2-3 years away. If they stay in the Prem, I mean, they're 19th right now. So they could still be going down.
Yeah, that's
Chelsea's a big game. So, yeah, I think Chelsea will win this. but I reckon it'll be 2 or 3-1 Chelsea. I reckon Newcastle will score.
James?
Right, well, Newcastle ain't won a game yet this season in the Premier League.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Sorry, Sion. It's going to happen. I think this will be.
Spurs will beat us as
You
well.
boys, you boys won't have heard of this phrase, but people of my generation will. This will be the coupon buster. People that have their accumulators in the betting, yeah, and people will go for a Chelsea win and away from home. But I think this will ruin a lot of people's betting. So I'm going for a Newcastle win tomorrow or whenever it is, and I'm going for a 3-2 Newcastle.
Okay.
Possible.
That's not to annoy you, Sia. They haven't won a game yet.
Yeah. Newcastle. I just think it would be hilarious if they get relegated. Richest owners in the world. I think that would be a fun story.
Yeah. It'd be even more hilarious if they get relegated, but it won't be as hilarious as them beating Chelsea this weekend.
Well. I mean, he said Spurs will beat us as well. We all know how that ended.
Yeah, well, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. All right. Game of the weekend: Tottenham versus Man United. I couldn't call this, but we'll start off with Xanthon.
I think it's going to be a very boring game. Two managers that don't know what they're doing. I'm going to go 0-0.
My God. Yeah. I mean, I'll go next on this one. I think Tottenham fans, I don't know. I feel like they're being a bit harsh on Nuno. Like, I don't know what Tottenham they expected at the start of the season, but I think most of them were hoping for possibly Europa League. So I think they need to give Nuno more time. It's obviously his first year in the job. I think Oli goes into this game under more pressure because of the how long he's been there. Tottenham's Premier League form's a bit up and down, to be honest. They win, they lose, they draw. That seems to be the sequence with them. United, they won't lose forever. I'll go 1-1. James?
I don't know. It just made me laugh what Rasentham was saying. I think a draw is on the cards as well, but I have a sneaky feeling Man United might nick it, and that's based on recently watching Tottenham live last weekend. It's the worst I've ever seen Harry Kane. He's definitely not up for it, but then this game could be the Harry Kane show. But I think Man United might nick it if anyone wins it. So I'll go Man United win just to please Rasentham.
Listen, if a United win keeps Oli in the job, then up the Red Devils. Then I guess, yeah. If he stays, Harry.
Yeah, I can't lie. This game is screaming 0-0. But just because Nuno he's a very defensive manager, I don't think a lot going forward from this season. And obviously, Oli's under the cosh. He's under pressure right now from the board. But it could go either way. I mean, Tottenham, they've been up and down here, there, and everywhere, and Harry Kane's nowhere to be found. But yeah, I mean, if someone was to win it, I think I would win it. They sneak it late on, Ronaldo or Rashford or someone like that. And I just don't see Tottenham having really any attacking threat throughout the game because they're so focused on trying to defend. I mean, you could say the same for United, but I think United have got a lot more going forward than Tottenham right now currently this season. So I'd say United late on 1-0.
Okay, and Aston Villa, West Ham, James?
Yeah, I'm just looking. Aston Villa have lost their last 3 Premier League games, and they're playing at home. But I think West Ham are just on such a good form. I've got to back my team, so I'll probably go for maybe a late minute winner, possibly 2-1 West Ham. But I'll take a draw just to keep us unbeaten. But I just worry that Villa might come out. They've lost their last 3. They need to do something. They're at home, but West Ham are flying high at the moment, so their confidence will be good. So let's go 2-1 West Ham win, last minute winner.
Xanthon?
I'm going to go West Ham 3-2. I feel like Aston Villa would definitely score goals, but it won't be enough to win the game.
Harry?
I'm going to go for 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
I reckon this game will end in a draw. I just think Villa, lost their last 3 games, but they're at home, and the fans are going to want them to perform this game. West Ham, yeah, they are a good on the form. Let's not forget that. But I reckon this will be a draw. Like I see West Ham dominating early on, maybe possibly scoring, maybe going 1 up, 2 up, and then Villa getting like flicking the switch or some sort of VAR controversy, flicking the switch for them, and then just going on and scoring 2, and then equalising and then ending 2-2. That's how I see the game going.
Well, I'll change it up a bit. I'll go for an Aston Villa win. Kurt Zuma 85th minute own goal.
Hang on. That's ridiculous.
It'll be crazy. Craig Dawson's just gonna try clear it. It's gonna come off Zuma. Catastrophe, basically. And Aston Villa home win. Nick it in the 85th minute. That's what I'm going. That's why I saved it for last. I saved myself for last purposely for that. Any final words, James?
That's ridiculous. The boy can't take me back in Newcastle, so he wants to make a statement like that. Yeah, we'll wait and see. We could be doing an extra recording come Monday, mate. I tell you.
Well,
if West Ham win and Chelsea lose, we'll be doing an extra. Me and you, we'll see that out, son. I tell you, unbelievable. Just before we finish, the draw for the Carabao Cup is tomorrow. 18.
I hope we get Sunderland. Oh, I won't mind.
Who do you fancy in the next round quarterfinal, Sion?
Sunderland at home, League One team. I think they're the. I'm not sure if there's any champions.
You're scared of West Ham and Liverpool. That's fine, Sion. Harry, who
the Liverpool bit's fine.
Round? Harry,
I don't know. I'm always nervous of drawing the smaller teams in the cup, just out of for embarrassment's sake. But I reckon Liverpool get like Arsenal or Spurs. I reckon next round.
The Southampton, who demand? Oh no, they're not in it, are they? Sorry.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew it.
Got beaten by West Ham. That's what we're finishing on, Sion. You can't.
I was waiting. Like when you're finishing the Harry one. I was smiling.
Kurt Zuma own goal.
Listen, as you're talking to Harry, I was smiling in my head. I was like, I know you were going to do that thing with the Southampton.
Yeah, but the Southampton knows me well enough not to respond. He knows the quality that we have. We have nice banter here, Sion.
Well.
Goal.
Well, guys, that's it for this week. So
could be it for the rest of the season.
Like, subscribe, and share if you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you all again soon.